Hello and welcome to another session here at NAV SEAL. Today I would like to talk about emails, email assignments, email scenarios. If you have never heard about that before, stay tuned because I'm going to show you some features that exist in Business Central that's actually been there for years now, but maybe you haven't heard about them before. How can we utilize the way that we send out emails to our customers? Let me show you. So first of all, when you get into Business Central, we have to set up email accounts. I'm not going to get into the details about that, but let me just show you what's in here. So what I'm showing you right now, I'm in a Kronos, I'm in a demo database, my own sandbox here. And you can see I've set up a current user and I have set up a NAV SEAL information user. The first line with the current user means that by default, if I want to send out an email, it could be a sales order confirmation, it could be a purchase order for a vendor, it's going to suggest the current user that's logged in my scenario, it's me, and it's going to use my email, ka@navseal.com, and use that as the sender of the email. So that means whenever whoever receives that is going to see my email address and kind of can reply back to that if they want to do that. Now, you could also have a shared set up a shared email account, and that is actually the second line on the screen here, and I call it NAV SEAL information. And as you can see, it's a different email address. There might be scenarios where you want to send out emails, but not on behalf of yourself, but on behalf of the company, or maybe on behalf of a department of the company. Let's take one scenario. If you send out some posted sales invoices, maybe you should not do it in your own name as a sales rep, for example, but maybe do it on behalf of the accounting department. The same could be with a credit memo. It could be when you send out a purchase order, it could be on behalf of the purchase department so anyone could see it. That's just a few examples in here, but let me show you how you can actually use those. So by default, when I would send out a sales order confirmation, it will pick up my own user account. So let's just try and go to a sales order here. So if I just send email confirmation, it's going to open up my page here, and now we see current user, that's me, and it's going to send it to Robert Towns, our client. And we can see the email body down here, it's a simple sales order. And down here, if we go down to the bottom part, we can see the sales order is attached as a PDF. Okay, not that magic, but it's really useful feature, and we use emails every day, maybe hundreds of times every day. Now, so this was one scenario, and that's fine because I'm usually in contact directly with the customer, so I'm having a conversation with them, so it makes sense that it's me they're going to reply back to. So they know it's me sending out that confirmation. Now, let's just discard that email. And just as a comment on that, if you don't discard the email, it's going to keep that as a draft in there. And it's just going to build up. And you have to delete them manually later on if you don't want to keep them, as you can see, keep as a draft. I'm just going to delete it because I don't need it again. Now, we have the other scenario, a posted sales email. But before I get into it, let me show you. There's something called email scenario assignments. If I use that function, you can see I have two lines in here. This is a simple setup. So I have, if it's a sales order, it's gonna use my current user. So whoever is logged in, it's gonna use that person's email address. In my scenario, it's me, of course. But if I'm gonna send out a sales invoice, it's gonna use my NAV SEAL information instead. Because I don't want to use my own name, my own email address. I want them to reply back to, in this scenario, NAV SEAL information. So how did I get that in here? If I click on this one, you see the top line. It says assign scenarios, the same down here. Because I only have two email accounts, so it's going to show me two top lines, you could say. If I had 3 or 4 or 5, it would show more headlines up here in bold. Now, if I click on this one and click on assign scenarios, you can see I can choose from a huge list of reports that can be emailed out. Purchase orders, quotes, reminders, sales quotes, service credit memos, and so on and so on. So I could say if I wanted to have the service order, for example. I want to have the same scenario. Down here, this should come from info, NAV SEAL information. So that's the way you can assign it. But let me show you, because this scenario tells me that whenever I want to email a sales invoice, it's going to use this email address up here. So let's try it. Posted sales invoice. Here we go. My list of, so let's try and print send by email. And here we go. See the top line up here? This is who it's from. It's from NAV SEAL information, info@navseal.com. And this happens because I have set up a scenario for any posted sales invoice. It should be emailed from this email address. So whenever Megan Bond receives this email, it's going to show info@navseal.com as the one that sent out this information. This is pretty useful, and you can kind of make up a lot of different scenarios that you want to use. So this is really powerful. Now, there's one more thing I would like to show you. And I wasn't really aware of that until for some time ago, actually. That you can see down here, it attaches the sales invoice as a PDF. That's fine. That's standard. And that makes a lot of sense. So just we have the body up here, but we also have it as a PDF document, just like if we printed the sales invoice to a printer, for example. Now, maybe I want to have terms and conditions in there. I know there's a lot of company when they send out emails, they want to automatically attach other documents, and it can actually do that. So when you look at, let's look at the sales invoice here. So you can see if I highlight the sales invoice line, there's a new option up here in the ribbon. It's called Set Scenario Attachments. Ooh, let's have a look. Nothing in it right now, but let's click on New. So I want to add a file. And just for today's little example, I have prepared a little terms and condition document here. So you can see terms and condition, that's one way, because every time I send out an invoice, I want to attach this document, so at least the customer has a chance to read that if they want to do that. Now I can click this option box, attach by default. Let's do that. So let's go back again. Let's have a look at our posted sales invoice. Same one. We're gonna use the print and send by email. The top one, just like we had it before. But you see down here, now there's actually attachment terms and conditions. Wow, that's nice. I like that. So that's an easy way to kind of attach documents that applies to all emails going out in relation to sales invoices. You could have a different document for sales order confirmation if you want to do that, because you can attach that scenario for attachments for each individual scenario you have in there. So that's cool. Now, you notice that I put in a check mark for default, and that means it will do this automatically. But you could have a lot of different options or documents prepared that you wanted to use, but you didn't want to use it every time. So let's have a look down here. So add files from our default selection. What does that mean? If I click on it, oops, that was not it. Oh, I know why. Let's just jump out of this. Let's go back to my attachment here and let me edit this one. Oh, I meant edit. Come on. Here we go. Let's try again. Posted sales invoice. And let's try this one again. Send by email. Let's go down here. See, there's no attachments for terms and conditions. But if I click on the add file from my default selection, it will show me the list of all the attachments I can choose from. Now, you saw before that it didn't show anything because there was only one attachment available in there. And it was set by default, so there wasn't really anything else to show. But this was a scenario where I said, okay, it's not every time I want to attach this one. I'm going to let the user decide which one they want to attach. So just imagine you had 5, 10 different, you could say, attachments prepared for attachments here. It would show you a list you could choose from, and then I would just select it and say, okay, thank you. I want to attach that to this email in here. So that's slightly a different way to use that. Now that we're in here, there's another one I really like here. So there's one called add file from source document. What does that mean? So if I click on that, again, that was the wrong one. I want to show you on a different one. Just discard this one. Let's try and go back to the sales order because I know I can use the sales order for this example. And let's try and print, and it's the same page you're gonna see when it pops up here with the email, and down here I'm gonna use the same option. You can see now it actually shows me 3 different lines of attachments I can choose from and attach to this email. You see the top one says source customer 10,000. And in this scenario, that means that this document that is called 3 and 9 barcode is actually attached to the customer page. So if I go to the customer page, I will see this document as an attachment. The following 2 lines is actually attachments that comes from the sales order. So someone attached those documents at an earlier stage for whatever reason. They wanted to save that internally, but maybe we want to use it for this sales order confirmation when we send it out to the customer. So you can actually select this one. I'm just going to take this example and attach the remittance advice so I can email that at the same time. I think that's really nice that you have this functionality. And just to show you, when I go into the customer, I just wanted to show you up here in attachment that I do have 2 different documents in here. The last one was on the customer card. Now, brilliant features. Lastly, I just want to show you that you have, whenever you send emails, you have an email outbox. So that means that you have a chance to show all the emails that you have sent. So the email outbox shows all the emails that's waiting to be emailed out of Business Central. So right now I don't have anything outstanding in here. Nothing is waiting to be sent by email. You know, because sometimes you might have an incorrect email set up for the customer, and the email feature will reply back and say unknown or not valid email address. That could show in this page. Now we also have one called send emails. And this is the one that's going to show me all the emails that has been sent out in this scenario from me. And the great thing is that from here you can show the source, meaning show me the document. This is the sales invoice that I sent out earlier on today. I can resend it, or I can edit and send it again if I want to do that. Again, that's a nice feature. Just imagine the customer saying, I didn't receive it. Could you please send it to me again? So that could be one way to do that. Find it in what has been sent already and just resend it. Now, I enjoyed sharing that feature or those features to you today. I hope you can use that. And I'm looking forward to next time we're going to meet, and I hopefully have some more new exciting information to show you about Business Central. Have a nice day.
Thanks for watching this video from NAV SEAL. Check out more right here. NAV SEAL offer assistance and counsel on any existing solution. So if you're in need of assistance, don't hesitate to contact us on navseal.com or LinkedIn. Consider leaving a like and subscribe for more tips, news, and guides to anything Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central.